to which a lot of what we're going to talk about is going to point back to for the rest of our evening. This is the first attribute for how Christians have historically understood defining God. God is, in a word, perfect. The concept of one without any error, without any limitation, with nothing that can encroach or hedge in, no limitations with respect to space and time or knowledge or power, this being who is perfect. This is the one word which we begin as we look to describe who is God. Any questions so far for anything that we've talked about? If you look on page 43 of your manual, a couple of the verses I chose are up there at the top. So you could, if you're wanting to write these down, you could add some of these to that page. I love what it says at the top of page 43. For God is both knowable and unknowable. What is that, you guys? What is that? God is knowable and unknowable. What happens when we try to put it to one side or the other? When you say God is just completely unknowable. Right? That was the deist, or even the agnostic. Even if God may exist, but you can't know Him. Or God, He started the world up, He created everything, but He's removed from it. He's not knowable. He's just unknowable. What happens if you go the other direction? What if you say God is completely knowable? Who becomes God? You. Absolutely. If you think that God is 100% knowable, well then guess who God is? You are God. Christians, in order to retain orthodoxy, must hold this intention to say God is completely knowable and completely unknowable. I think completely might be the wrong word there. God is given Himself to be adequately knowable and unknowable. I don't think He's completely knowable. I think we will spend all of eternity getting to know God, and we won't have even started. Can you wrap your mind around that? Yeah. Does that just... I feel like as I think about that, I feel like I'm just in like the vast blackness of space. I feel like, where am I trying to conceive of God? If I spend 1,000 years studying, if I memorize the whole Bible word for word, it's like I never started. That just wrinkles my brain. All right, let's, no questions?
When people try to make you believe that, hey, I got a handle on this. I know all about Him. I can get my prayers answered.
Mm-hmm.
I can get this because I know Him.
Mm-hmm.
They can work miracles. It's like they can turn it on and off at will.
What's the danger in that? Oh, I think I just heard it back there. What'd you say? Can you just take the word of out? That's not God. That's some other something that you're tapped into there, but that's not God.
Because Daniel said, your prayers, He hears it the first time, but you have these Persians or whoever.
Oh, sure. A lot more going on than you know.
Yours answered every time. I have a personal relationship with Him. I speak with authority, so like I talked to Him this morning,
Mm-hmm.
We have a one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I mean, it's good to say that, but you have to remember and know the extent where we know what is going on.
I think the point Andrea is talking about here is that there is a difference between what we will call rational knowledge and relational knowledge. Do you know your husband? Do you know him completely? No. You still don't, but you know him. So when we speak of knowing God, we speak of so not in a rational sense, but we do in a relational sense. In the same sense that I know my spouse probably better than anyone else in the world does. There's still so much I don't even know. How much more it is with God. So we want to be careful to define what we mean when we say no, not to take it completely off the table, but to make sure we know what we're saying about these terms. Remember what I'm getting back to here? Because we actually have 5 days worth of content to cover in less than an hour. I want to begin by making a qualification of something I said just before the break. It's true that as we approach God, we do so relationally. I hope I didn't imply that we don't do it rationally, ever, because we do, and we must do it rationally. Let me read this out of the beginning of chapter 10 on here, called The Knowability of God, from our systematic theology text. It says, if we are to know God at all, it is necessary that He reveal Himself to us. Even when discussing the revelation of God that comes through nature, Paul says that what can be known about God is plain to people because God has shown it to them. The natural creation reveals God because He chose to have Himself revealed that way. With regard to the personal knowledge of God that comes through salvation, this idea is even more explicit. Jesus says, no one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son chooses to reveal Him. This kind of knowledge of God is not found through human effort or wisdom, the wisdom of God. The world did not know God through wisdom. The necessity of God to reveal Himself to us is also seen in the fact that sinful people misinterpret revelation about God found in nature. For those who by their wickedness suppress the truth are those who have become futile in their thinking, and our senseless minds were darkened. They've exchanged the truth about God for a lie. Therefore, we need Scripture if we are to interpret natural revelation rightly. That's the point. I'm going to repeat it again. We need Scripture if we are to interpret natural revelation rightly. So, we do need the relational aspect of it, but we also need to interpret. We need to know how to think about the text right. We need to know how to think about God right. Because these two are not mutually exclusive. They work together. How do you think I would describe that so far in this course? Something that, there it is. What is that? That's attention right there. We don't just approach God with our heart. We just don't approach God with our mind. We use our mind and our heart. This would be Scripture. Because God has revealed Himself how? Right here. I don't want you to get confused over that. I don't want you to think revelation knowledge is something someone else is telling you. It's something we already have. We've got it already, right here. The Bible alone tells us how to understand the testimony about God. Therefore, we depend on God's